Hi guys, welcome back to Harry Makes It Up. Today I'm using Highstreet and Drugstore products, doing a really quick day makeup look. So I'm going to get started by using one of my favourite foundations at the minute. This is by Bourjois, and this is Happy Light Foundation, and this is really similar to, I'd say, the Healthy Skin Foundation, or the Healthy Mix, sorry. But it's really lovely, 8 hours hydration it says, it smells really nice, and it's the same colour formulations as well as the previous Bourjois foundation, so it's really easy to find your match again if you're used to wearing Bourjois foundation. So I'm just going to take a little pump of that on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to take a Real Techniques buffing brush, and I'm just going to blend some of that into the skin. You can get quite good buildable coverage with this. Like I said, I think Bourjois do really good budget buy foundations in terms of the colours. They have really good yellow tones. So I'm just going to apply this all over my skin, just so you've got a nice sheer coverage. It's a really nice day foundation as well. You could build it up to more coverage for evening if you needed to, but I don't even think that evening makeup is about heavier coverage. It's just about getting it right for the lighting that you're going to be in. So I'm just making sure it's really buffed in. I'm going to do concealer and things like that last. I just wanted to get a quick base on, but the next product I'm going to use is Scandalise. This is a long wear cream eyeshadow by Rimmel, and it will turn to a powder finish as well. So these are really good, I think, for on the go. They're really good for keeping your handbag. You don't really need too many brushes. You can even apply it with your fingers if you want to, but I'm just going to take a little bit over my eyelid, so just using the applicator, and this colour is, I think it's 006 Rich Russet, so I'm just going to pop this. It's quite shimmery, but it's quite a nice colour, I think, especially if you kind of like transition from summer to autumn. It's again quite messy, quite haphazard, all over the lid, and then I'm just going to take a 217 MAC blending brush and just buff that in through the socket. And I'm going into the socket with this colour as well, just so it's kind of gets a little bit more shade into the socket. And these are really long lasting, they're really good value, I think, for drugstore products. So onto the other eye. So if you go up to where your socket is and then blend again with your 217. So just in there with your 217 again. I'm just literally buffing that through the socket. And same on the other side. Then I'm going to take a little bit of Max Factor Liquid Effect Pencil. This is in black and it's got a little smudge end as well on the other end. Really nice texture these, and I'm just going to roll this along the top of my lash line. So I'm going all the way along my eye to the outside corner, really close to the lash line, and I'm going to go inside the top waterline as well with this. And then again along the top of the lash line. You can do little dots if that's easier, but try and keep the dots not too big. I'm just going to take a little trade show brush. Again, these are the kind of brushes you could get from art shops. They're really good. And I'm just going to smudge that. So I'm just going to start the initial, and I'm just pulling it out a little bit as well. Just at the corner. Take my 217 again and just buff that in to the lash line, just so it's a bit more smoky, but ever so slightly smoky. It's more daytime smoky, so the eyeliner will look a bit more grey as well. So once you've blended the black in, you should just have a little bit of definition just along your lash line, just to open up the eye a little bit more, so you're just defining that area. I'm going to curl my eyelashes and take a pair of RMK eyelash curlers. So I'm just going to squeeze and pull back a little bit. Okay. And on the other eye also. And then I'm going to take one of my favourite 17 mascaras. This is going to be in my autumn favourite soon. This is Falsify by 17, which is a really nice mascara. If you can see the brush, put it there. Really lovely brush. I'm going to put this on the top and the bottom lashes, so I'm just going to apply to the bottom lashes. And then I'm going into the top lashes as well, so using this lovely big brush. Just coat every lash and just wiggle it in, get lots of nice definition into the eye. If you want to go back in with a little bit more definition just in the sockets of the eyes, you can go back in with a little bit more rimmel, and you can just literally place some on the back of your hand. You can even do this with your finger if you want to, and I'm just going to take a tiny bit more of that product just into the socket line. Just acts like it'll just darken it a little bit. Just get a little bit more definition on those eyes. And I'm just going to use a little bit of this Body Shop eyebrow powder. This is in 02 and this is a really good colour, and I really recommend the Body Shop brows actually. So I'm going to take a little bit of the lighter colour mixed with the darker one, and I'm just going to run a tiny bit of that, just feathering it through my brows a little bit, just so I get a little bit more definition. And if you relax your brows when you're doing your brows, it makes it much easier to see where your shape's going to go. And I just like a little bit at the minute because you don't really see my brows too much at the minute with the haircut I've got. So I'm just going to give myself a bit more of an arch. Just very lightly feathering it through. Just to elongate my brows a little bit. That's all they really need at the minute, is a little bit of elongating. So next up I'd go on to is concealer, and a concealer I've been really liking in terms of drugstore buys is Collection. I hear a lot of the bloggers raving about it, so I thought I'd try it. And this is the Lasting Perfection Ultimate Wear Concealer by Collection. I'm just going to use a little bit of this, and I'm just going to dot it on. And I'm going to start, I think I'm going to put, I like to get rid of the redness in my skin, so I do go quite low down my nose. And then I'm just going to start using my finger at first, because I find they are quite stiff, this concealer. But it is good in that, obviously because it's long lasting, it is a bit more mattifying. So if you have oily skin, these are really good. And if I had to compare them to a more expensive concealer, I'd say they're kind of similar to the NARS Creamy Radiant Creamy Concealer, that's right. They're kind of similar to that. I'm going to take some Stay Matte Rimmel Pressed Powder. This is in translucent, and what I would recommend is if you're ever unsure of your powder colour, or you go on holiday a lot, or you're in between climates, I think something like any powder in translucent is always a safe bet because it should always work with your skin tone. And I'm just going to use that with a Japanese artist brush. So I'm just going to use more down the centre of my face really, just to powder my chin. Then I am going to take one of my new favourites. This is really great, this product. This is Instant Glow. This is by 17, and this is their matte bronzer in medium. Now that colour I'd say is very, very similar to Hoola. So I'm quite impressed with this. I think it's quite hard to find a drugstore bronzer that doesn't have lots of shimmer in. And this is completely matte, so we're going to use this today. I'm going to use it a little bit as a contour and a little bit kind of to actually bronze a bit as well. So I'm just taking a little old Ruby and Millie brush, and we'll do a little bit into the contour of my cheeks, and then I'm going to work that kind of across my cheekbone as well, so that the kind of tan colour comes through a little bit and I look nice and healthy. So I'm just using that just through my cheekbone first, and then I'm kind of taking it onto my cheek a little bit as well, a little bit on my nose, just so it looks nice and realistic. So I think that's enough that it feels like a natural bronze. And then just to add a tiny hint of colour, I just want a bright poppy pink before I finish my lip. And I'm going to use Sleek Makeup Powder Blush. See if I can get this one open. And this is in Flamingo. Again, another amazingly pigmented range. I think their eyeshadows are great. I think their blushes are great. And even their lipsticks I love. So I'm going to use a little bit of this just to dot in the middle of my cheek, just to give a little kind of pop of colour. So I'm using a NARS No. 9 brush. And we're just going to use, I'm going to knock quite a lot of this powder off because I just want it very subtle and pretty. And I'm just going to, just to the apples, and I'm adding such a tiny amount because so the lipstick I'm going to use is by Avon, and I think these are the colour lasting lipsticks, but it doesn't actually say on it. That's the packaging, and this is in the colour Carnation, but it's a really lovely kind of soft pink, and I think it'll just look really nice with this day makeup for a soft kind of soft fresh look really. So I'm just going to use this from the bullet. And I think it really works nice as well with the eye, it just gives it all a bit of lift. going to use my finger just to kind of push that in. Just so it's nice and lived in. And I'm just going to kind of pat that in a little bit as well. Then for one final little finish, because makeup artists always lie and say it's the final thing, but it never is, I'm going to use one of the Kiko Makeup Milan. This is their long-lasting eyeshadow stick, and these are 8 hour no transfer performance, and I just think Kiko is so well priced for the quality of their pigments, the quality of ingredients they use. So I'm a very big fan of Kiko, and I'm so glad that they've now opened a store in Regent Street on London, as well as being in Westfields as well, but you can also order online. So this one is 07, very similar to the Bobbi Brown sticks. They're a lot more expensive, and very good quality as well. You can do a quick smoky eye with these in the dark shades, but I'm going to take this pearl colour and just pop it on the inside of the eye, just for a bit of extra brightness, just so we look nice and healthy and radiant. Okay guys, so there's the finished look. Hope you like that. Like I said, very quick day look using all drugstore makeup or high street brands, really easy to use. I didn't use many brushes today either, so even if you can invest in kind of 5 good brushes, it makes makeup like this much easier to do as well. Please send me your requests, guys. Send me any videos you'd like me to do. Thank you for all your comments, and you can find me on Twitter at Harriet Hadfield, or on Instagram at Harry Makes It Up. Please subscribe, guys, as well. Subscribing's free, and like the video if you liked it. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.